Tonight was great. All my favorite people in one room. I could tell my family really liked you.
Did they?
Yeah. All our prep work paid off. They're normally reserved, so the fact that they were talking with you for so long in the other room is a good sign. A great sign. Did you like the Salisbury steak? I told my mom it was your favorite.
It was delicious. That was really sweet of her.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
No. I know you. I know how stressed you were about tonight. I'm just glad they got to meet you. The hard part is over. Now we can enjoy our Pennsylvania vacation.
His phone dings.
Hey, my brother and his wife are going to the shooting range tomorrow. Should I tell them to expect 2 more?
I don't know if I'm up for it. I wish I could have gotten a heads up.
Heads up, more like heads down. You don't want to get shot.
No. I meant at your grandparents' house. I couldn't tell whether they liked me.
They would be crazy not to. Plus, I spent an hour reviewing names and anecdotes with you. It was fine.
I'm not feeling great. I think I might want to go home a bit earlier, actually.
Man. I thought it'd take longer than a few hours for them to turn you off completely. They're a pain, but kind of endearing once you get to know them.
Caroline checks her travel app for sooner flights. To herself,
Red eyes, only $60.
Okay, I get it. We're all familiar with each other and they're just meeting you. But they loved you. Just give them some time to warm up to the...
Warm up to the fact that I'm Black.
Black?
silence. Garrek sits on the bed. Caroline remains standing, still processing.
You didn't think to warn me that I was walking into a lion's den? I wasn't prepared for all of that.
Lion's Den? What do you mean lion's den? They're bears, if anything. They're hibernating for the winter, or perhaps the rest of their lives. I'm sorry. So just so we're clear, you think my family had a problem with the fact that you're Black?
I don't know. I don't know them as well as you do. What do you think?
Well, what specifically? I mean, did they say or do something that disturbed you?
Well, it wasn't one thing specifically. It was, maybe it was me. I've been nervous all week about tonight being perfect. I had the highest hopes. I just couldn't shake the feeling that they were bothered by me. But parents usually love me. I don't know. I just felt alone tonight. It was like being left in the dark. And
Caroline pauses, unsure of how much to keep close to the vest.
And then when you were with them, I didn't recognize you. It was like you were a different person. You didn't register my discomfort. You left me alone with.
For as long as I've known them, they've hardly had any interaction with Black people. Did I miss something? What did they do?
You know, the more I think about it, they seemed just as caught off guard as I was. You never told them about me, did you?
Now you're just messing with me. I talk about you all the time. They couldn't have been more excited to meet you.
I mean that I am Black. You never told them after all this time that I'm Black.
No, not specifically, no.
It felt like I was on the other end of an elaborate ruse and everyone was disappointed. The way their faces fell, some of them looked offended that I showed up at all. And the things they said, there must have been a reason you never showed them a picture or thought it necessary to tell them.
Maybe there was a reason.
Explain.
I didn't think it was worth mentioning. Why should I have to tell my family the race of my girlfriend?
Because you know them, because you knew they might have an issue with it.
Good. If they have an issue, they should talk about it.
At my expense.
No, not at your expense, at theirs. I didn't want them to have time to prepare. Conversation, food, yes. Conversation, no.
I was the one that had to endure their half-baked conversation.
Oh. So you didn't like the Salisbury steak?
Garrek, didn't you think it was weird to leave me by myself to field their ignorant questions for an hour?
I can't think of a more well-spoken person. Better you to answer their questions than me. Was it really that bad?
You're a bit too eager to turn a blind eye, and it's a little unsettling. I've never seen you like this. I think I thought we could talk about anything. Clearly, your defenses are too high to have an honest conversation, and it's enough to make me want to get my own room tonight and process it by myself.
Wait. You would get another room.
Well, if you're intent on not seeing it, then I'm not going to explain it any further. I'm exhausted. I'm going to see if we have another room.
I love you. I love you. Isn't that enough?
No,
No.
it's not enough. I would never knowingly put myself in that position. I couldn't believe that you did. Your lack of judgment about tonight is starting to feel intentional. Why didn't you tell them that I was?
I never thought of you as Black, Caroline. I told them that you are the woman I love, that I've never, in my 28 years of life, felt the way I feel about you. That I want you in my life for the rest of it. That's what I wanted them to know about you.
Just because you don't think of me as Black doesn't mean that that's not the first thing that they saw. the first thing that everyone sees. You have the luxury to live in delusion. I do not.
Never in my wildest dreams did I think that this is the conversation we'd be having tonight.
Well, you should have.
Do you still love me?
Garrek, of course, I love you. That's not the point. Love is nothing without respect, and tonight complicates things. I wonder if you do respect me anymore. If you did, you wouldn't have to let them, you wouldn't let them say those things to me.
What did they say?
You would have stood by me and made me feel like I wasn't, you would have stood by me and made me feel like I wasn't the outcast that they were making me out to be, but you weren't.
So you would let everything we have dissolve because of one bad night?
You left me in the other room with your bigot, your grandfather, to say whatever he wanted to me, and then your uncle, and then your cousin, your brother, Garrek, and you couldn't even be bothered to be in the same room with me to back me up. Who are you? I don't think I know you anymore.
I'm someone who loves you. I don't know what else to say.
Exactly. So you didn't say anything. You cared more about not confronting your family than making sure my head was above water.
You're right. I dropped the ball because I didn't know what to say.
Caroline stops but does not turn around. Her hand is still frozen on the doorknob.
I was humiliated tonight, and you were off in another room drinking with your cousins.
Garrek slowly rises and crosses the room.
I thought you were fine. I really did. I thought you could handle yourself. You are so brilliant and charming and confident and stunning. I thought just your presence would speak for the both of us. I didn't want to ruin it by telling them all about you. I see what a huge mistake that was now.
He gently turns her shoulders to face him.
Yes, Caroline. I did know that they could be like this, but I really didn't think. I thought that when I showed up with you, knowing how in love with you I am, that they would be happy for me and that they would respect me enough to respect you, to overlook the fact that
I'm not white.
you're not white.
So then you did know. And just so you know, it doesn't work like that.
I really am sorry. I just wanted them to see how in love we were before deciding anything about you based on your race. I wanted them to see past your skin to the amazing person you are.
That's the problem. I don't want to have my Blackness overlooked because I'm so well-spoken. I want to be accepted for fully for who I am.
I'm so sorry. I should have been there next to you. I should have said something. I should have held your hand all night and showed them how much you mean to me.
Why didn't you?
I don't know, Care. You always make me feel safe when I'm my most vulnerable. I wasn't comfortable being that way with them. I don't think I have ever been. When we walked in, I froze and went into autopilot. Go with the flow, don't challenge anything mode. I think it's because what we have is so sacred, and I didn't trust them with it.
Didn't trust them.
I've never trusted anyone in the world more than you. Before you came into my life, I would have said I was close to my family. Now I see that we don't ever go beneath the surface. We talk about where to celebrate Christmas and meals and the weather and professional achievements. You know the real me. You know what I cry about at night and what scares me the most. I'm safe with you. I'm safe to be flawed without a facade, and you love me unconditionally.
It's not unconditional, Garrek. The cost is mutual safety. And I didn't feel safe.
Well, I don't ever want you to feel that way again. I would choose you every day over any Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's with my family.
I couldn't tell.
Then marry me.
Caroline meets his eyes shocked and takes a step back to steady herself.
Caroline, you are the one I want forever. The thought of going back to that mediocre, pristine, emotionless life on the surface makes me feel sick. You add brightness and color to every dark room, and I am better with you. You are a treasure. You are worth every sacrifice. Whatever I need to do to support you, I will do. I just need you.
I do love you. But I need more than love. How do I know the next time something becomes uncomfortable, you won't leave me in the line of fire and pretend I'm not in a war zone? Are you going to let them passively aggressively assault our kids with insulting assumptions? Or praise their white qualities? How can I trust that you will see what I'm going through? Put yourself between me and the firing squad.
I did see it. I just didn't want to believe it was happening. Because if I did, what would that say about my family? What does it say about me?
So you were more concerned with protecting your ego than me.
Been a coward tonight. All along. It always made my skin crawl to hear what they would say behind closed doors or around the dinner table growing up. I just never thought it was worth it to try to change their minds. Part of me thought that just by virtue of meeting you, they'd have to acknowledge how wrong they've been. I know it might take time for you to trust me, or for my impulses to kick in, or for me to see things clearly enough from your lens, but I promise I will. I promise, Caroline. Can you just stay
Caroline
here
ponders
tonight? Can you just stay here for tonight?
I'm not totally convinced, but I guess I can stay tonight.
She
Do we have to have
stops.
all the answers right now?
Maybe not.
Caroline stifles a smile and puts down her bag, but remains standing. They look at each other for a beat. Then Garrek makes his way back to the bed to retrieve his phone and quickly dials a number.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, the Salisbury steak was great. Put on Oliver.
Garrek reaches for Caroline's hand from the bed. She comes close enough to take his, and he draws her into himself as his brother picks up the other line.
Hey, bro. We need to talk.
A soft smile plays on Caroline's lips. Garrek's not totally forgiven, but maybe he can get there.